Students, this is the fourth part of our third lesson, The Call of the Soil, which is written by Venkatayya. So open your books, page number 27, third line from the last, the scent of rice. From this line today we are going to start. Now listen carefully. The scent of rice. The first year I was late for the rice sowing season and had to resort. Resort it means, look at the board. Resort it means make use of. Resort to growing the GR4 variety that was short term and recommended. Recommend it means suggest or advice. Recommended by the agriculture officer at Coast Guard. So here we are getting information that in the first year the writer was very late to sow rice plant in his farm, and therefore that year he wanted a variety, a kind of rice plant which grow quickly in a short period. Therefore, he went to meet an agriculture officer at Coast Guard, and that agriculture officer suggested him name of a variety that grow in a short period, and the name of that variety of rice is GR4 variety. The next year we decided that we would start early and try to find some good traditional variety of rice to grow. Now this year, the writer is planting hybrid rice in his farm. But he decided that next year I will plant only traditional rice in my farm, and therefore he started to search that kind of variety, traditional variety, which he is going to plant next year in his farm. We had read about traditional varieties of rice and knew that they did not require very high inputs. Inputs it means help or given of fertilizers. So, when the writer was starting to read about the traditional variety of rice, that time he understood that traditional varieties of rice didn't need any kind of more help of fertilizer. They grow themselves. These varieties were also quite strong and resisted pest. Resist it means oppose, and resisted pest. Pest it means insects. So these are the traditional varieties. These traditional varieties are very strong. They resist, they oppose the insect and kill themselves. We were sure that it was this type of rice that would grow well in our farm where we did not use any chemical at all. So this time the writer was sure that if they plant this kind of traditional rice in their farm, so that rice will give good crop to him. That rice will grow up nicely. Why? Because the writer don't want to use any kind of chemical in his farm, and this rice, this type of rice, this variety of rice is already insect, this already resists the insect, so the writer will get automatically good crop. Our previous year experience and low yield had taught us a lesson that we were sure we would not plant hybrid this year. Hybrid, it means, look at the board. Hybrid, it means mixed breeds of grain. So, last year the writer got low crop or low quantity of his crop. So this year, from last year experience, this year he learned that if we need good crop in quantity, so for that we need this kind of traditional rice or grain which will give good crop in future, because they are already opposed to the insects. In April 2005, we started to look for a good variety of traditional rice. It was one of our neighbors in the village, a businessman from Mumbai who owned land, who suggested that we plant a local scented variety of rice. So, from April 2005, the writer started to look for a good traditional rice to plant in his farm. So, that time he met a businessman who came from the Mumbai here, and he had his own land, his own farm there. That businessman suggested writer that there is a variety of rice that is very scented and that is also tradition. You should plant that rice in your farm. Most of the farmers in and around the village of Pate had switched over to hybrid. Switched over, it means turn or started to take or plant. So, when the writer met all the people, farmer people in that area, so he understood all the people and particularly the young people in that area, Pate area, everyone started to plant hybrid grain in their farm, and they were started to take hybrid crop from their farm. The younger generation of farmers thought I was crazy to ask for the desi variety, as they called it. So, when the writer was talking with the younger generation of farmer that plant traditional varieties in your farm, don't use chemical in your farm. So, all the younger generation of farmer thinking that this person, this writer is a very crazy, this person is a mad. He wanted to plant desi variety, traditional variety in our farm. So, how can we get good crop? This was the thinking of all the younger generation farmers in that area about the writer. My regular visit to the village around searching for a good traditional variety also did not yield any result, and we were almost giving up hope. So, the writer was regularly visiting every village of that area. Why? Because he wanted to search any traditional variety of rice which he wanted to plant in his farm. But that was not had any result. That was resultless, without useless. His trips were there, and therefore he was losing his hopes. He was giving up his hope, and he was frustrated at that time. He stopped his efforts. So students, this part ends here. We are going to stop here. Have a good day to all of you. Thank you very much.